Hi guys, welcome to Fierce and Pretty. Honey here. It's the day of fall equinox, and just the same as last year, I decided to go to have a walk in the nature. Because actually, the tarot spread that I did last fall equinox, it was just a poor quality video that I filmed with my cell phone in the forest, just in the spur of the moment. And I did this tarot spread, and it's one card, the wheel card from the Druidcraft Tarot. It confused me, like really much. But now, exactly 1 year later, I know exactly what that card was talking about. And that's kind of the inspiration behind today's video, is a journey from last fall equinox to this year's fall equinox. So, how sometimes these tarot readings just make so much sense later on. But I'll talk more about the wheel card, and I'll actually do the same spread today to see how it goes. But I thought we could start this fall equinox Maybon trip here at this sacred well. If you saw my video where I was traveling all these ancient sacred Finnish places, these nature places that I made this summer, you've seen this place. So this is the sacred well, and I thought that because I just used the last drop of the water that I collected on summer, so I thought this would be a great day to do a little refill, harvest some water from the sacred well. And as last time, there is always the part of giving back and not only taking when it comes to the fruits of nature. Jeez, that water was cold. My hand is freezing. It was actually the first frost this morning. When I went out for my morning run, there was frost in the car windows, and there was frost in the grass. But still, even though it was a super misty morning, it was beautiful because the sun was still shining behind the clouds. It was just kind of, it felt like a turning point in the year. It's time to say goodbye to the lighter side of the year and start walking towards the darker part of the year. So this is the last day, and the day is as long as the night. From tomorrow onwards, the nights are getting longer, and up here in Finland, they do tend to get long and dark. But I guess it's time to move on to our next place. But the thing I saw when I came here, I'm gonna go explore and see more if I'm gonna collect them too. I found a feather and a bone. No idea what type of bone, whose bone it is, but they were on the road just near this fountain. They were kind of like waiting for me. So let's see if I'll take them home also on top of the water. So these were just here. I kind of feel like I meant to take them. Here. I'm not wearing any gloves, but I'll just have to clean and disinfect my hands. and these two, but I think that they were meant to be found. So they're coming home with me. So after the sacred well, I went to the cup stones, the sacrificial stones, where I also went this summer. I showed it in another video. And on these Sabbaths, I just enjoy doing something bigger for the offerings. So I think having those cup stones so near makes a nice choice than just using my home altar for the offerings. But today, for a change, I thought that I'd take you by this lake and not into the forest like I did last fall equinox. I hope you don't mind if you hear some noises with the cars. There's actually a road quite near, but this spot is just otherwise so beautiful. It's the same lake where if we would go that way, there would be my cottage, which I have to give up soon in November, since it was just a 6 months rental. So that's been a bit of a roller coaster with the cottage. But slowly starting to pack things up, taking them home, and also with that project I'm rebuilding, my space at home where I put all my stuff. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this card. And when I did the reading last year, I couldn't realize how the wheel card could be talking about a relationship. If we interpret the wheel card as the turn of the events and luck or change in fortune or whatever. Well, nothing big like Wheel of Fortune moments happened actually during this past year. But what actually ended up happening was that the majority of this past year I have been building my craft. And because initially when I saw this card in that reading, I said that I see she's drawing a circle in the sand like the witches do. And now, thinking back, I realized after this 1 year, that's what I've been doing. It's funny because how if we would speed dial this past year, it would look like these prepping montages in movies. I love those movie scenes like in Rocky movies when he's training for the big competition, or like in the series Outlander when Claire is getting ready to go back to the past to see Jamie and she's doing her own clothes, whatever, those montages. I love those. And that's kind of how my past year feels. Now when I've been organizing at home, so last year I bought John, my lovely cabinet. I know it must be silly to name a cabinet, but he just received a name. But now, since I had to bring stuff back from the cottage, and I had been getting stuff to that place too, and I needed to organize them all at home, so I decided to turn John into a book cabinet for now, at least. Let's see. And while I was getting ready for the fall equinox and this change of seasons, I cleaned the house, I reorganized my cabinets. So now inside John there are all my witchy books on the upper shelf, and the other kind of like astrology, Norse mythology, rune books, all those are on the bottom shelf. And then, because my tarot attic upstairs, it's just way too small to house all my stuff. So slowly they have started to drip down. But upstairs I keep all my tarot books and my tarot decks. So it's kind of like, it's a tarot attic up there. And then there is my second altar. It's kind of like my working altar where I do most of my stuff, where I can sit and, grind herbs and do that type of things. But downstairs in the living room now, on top of John, I've been keeping my kind of main daily altar. I don't know, I still don't love the word altar, but that's what it is. So I'm just gonna have to get used to it. I just recently went to a flea market, in just the spur of a moment went to see what I could find, and I found these old beautiful candle holders. So I instantly knew that they belong on top of John. And I found a third cauldron, and I found this second mortar and pestle made of iron, and a little iron pot, and what else? Oh, also this antique wooden box to put all my candles in. So I realized that actually what I've been up to was clearly there in my first intuition when I was watching this card, but I just didn't realize it. And so I brought this second antique cabinet back from the cottage. I love the turquoise color of it, and now it's housing all my herbs, all the herbs I harvested from the cottage and dried last summer. I have all my DIY things there, all these bottles and jars and incense, my essential oils, whatever. So trying to get things organized. But finally I'm feeling now, after 1 year, if I think where I was a year ago, I didn't really have a craft practice, kind of at all. I was really interested about those things, but it wasn't something that I would, label myself as a witch or anything. But after this 1 year of prepping montage, of studying, reading all these tons of these books, it evolved so naturally. And now I feel that I kind of have my base set up when it comes to this part of my life. I don't have big needs of, buying anything or getting. I feel like I have enough. Of course, I'll end up buying something here and there, but now I feel like I have a solid baseline where I can start doing more and, just seeing where my path goes. And I love how actually our living room is, the wall has tarot cards on it. Then I have these 2 cabinets filled with my witchy stuff. And my family thinks now that it's totally normal. So I'm really loving that situation. So I guess the point in this video, where I don't think there is much point, like not many of my videos do have, but sometimes there's readings which you don't quite understand while you're doing them. If you have a way of looking back, you kind of realize that maybe you were right. Your initial intuition was correct. And you know what it was all about. And for me, because honestly, I'm a shitty journaler. I'm shitty at journaling. I just, for some reason, is not my forte. So I'm happy that I have these, videos where I can return to and look back and see how things have progressed, how I've evolved. And if anybody wants to follow my journey, I'm so grateful to have you here. Because I don't know, there's just something in this that I'm sitting here by the lake on this kind of already cold rock. With my thoughts, but still I kind of feel your presence here. And that's always amazed me about YouTube, because I'm still having a hard time considering myself as a YouTuber. But anyway, it's just, I love sharing these moments with you. And I hope, well, maybe you enjoy them too if you're watching. But let's see. I'm gonna do the same spread, and let's see if it's gonna be a new fall equinox tradition of mine to do this same spread once a year. And the funny thing is that I haven't really actually worked with this deck a lot since. So it was about time to dig out the Druidcraft, because I really like this deck. But I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be a special deck. This year I actually printed out the spread, because last year I was just using it from my cell phone. But I'm gonna put a picture of the spread here, so if you want to pause and if you want to use it, it's also easy. You can find it on Google. I just found it online, and it's an autumn harvest spread. And what the spread says is that the autumn equinox, we celebrate the efforts we made to grow and prosper in our lives. We also look forward to the autumnal energies of transition, comfort, and liminal magic. Use this spread to examine personal development and the magic of autumnal equinox and Mabon. And I'll just, it's a 9-card spread, and I'll just go through each kind of question or placing for the cards as I go through them. So the first card in the spread is reflection, events that are currently influencing you the most. And here we have the Prince of Pentacles. And to me now, this is talking about this kind of slow pace, how things have, everything is still, due to COVID and other stuff, everything is still really slow, but it's moving. And it being the Prince of Pentacles, the mundane stuff, the everyday, work, those type of things are the initials that pop into my head with this spread. And the second position is pause, where you can harvest comfort. And here we get the Two of Swords. And I'm initially thinking about realizing that I do have choices, because I've been feeling this Eight of Swords energy super lot lately, and I feel like I'm out of choices, but I do have them. It's just, there is always a decision that can be made. There are always more than one path to choose from. And the third position is balance, how you can harvest balance and wellness. Seven of Swords. This is interesting. And I can't help but think what I was thinking last night when I went to bed, that it would be time to stop fooling myself. I'm trying to fool myself sometimes, and then I end up being lazy instead of doing the useful things that would bring me, more balance and wellness, like taking better care of my exercise routine and my food. I just fool myself, and I throw myself on the sofa and binge watch some Netflix. And honestly, because I know what I should do. So for me, I just read into this card a lot about that I know what I should do. And instead of fooling myself, I should just, put my big girl pants on and, man up, suit up, whatever. Then on to the fourth prompt. Something you can be thankful for, or a blessing in disguise. Here we got the Ten of Pentacles. Well, that truly is a card, of blessings. So, a little money and, health and family and friends could never hurt anybody. So, if this would be my blessings for this, this autumn, I couldn't ask for more. Then to the fifth prompt. Someone you should connect with this autumn, or a relationship that need your attention. And this is actually the position where I got the Wheel card last year. Let's see what community or relationship I should be taking care from now on. Four of Cups. This Four of Cups is an interesting card in this position, because I think many of us have been kind of being in the Four of Cups moments. Well, we haven't had the opportunity to do more, to do much. And some of us are better off counting our blessings, and some of us find it easier to focus on the things that we don't want. And this certainly brings a person to my mind. Then the sixth card, Sensitivity, where to harvest magic, an indicator of how to tap into your psychic abilities. So this sounds interesting. The Ace of Pentacles. And for me, on a place like this, on a day like this, on a place like this, where I am in the nature, this Ace of Pentacles is just kind of reinforcing my thought on how my practice is kind of very nature-based, and how I'm lucky to live in a beautiful country like this is, where magic can be found in the earth, in the nature. Then the seventh card of Transitions, where you will see shifts and changes this autumn. Oh, there it is, the Eight of Swords. Well, welcome shifts. Oh, that would be more than welcome. As I said, I've been stuck in this, Eight of Swords energy a long time. Spoken about it on many occasions. So, if this is changing and shifting from the Eight of Swords to something else, that's just perfect. I won't miss you. Eight of Swords energy. No way. Okay, Mastery. Something you should focus on and master this autumn. justice. And to me, it's very obvious that I haven't had much balance in anything lately. Too much of everything and too little of something, that's for sure. I'm not really good at finding that balance. Sometimes I struggle with the work-life balance, and then sometimes I struggle with family and, you know, the things that I want to do balance. And so mastering that with the justice card would be obviously really good for me, because that's what I initially know that would be helpful if I will master that balance. So note taken. And then to the last card of abundance, where you will succeed and prosper this autumn. 7 of Cups. So maybe I see this 7 of Cups with the choices, and I don't see this card so much as talking about illusions than all about these different choices, these hard choices. And kind of there is I see it differently than the 2 of Swords, about the mental struggle. But here I feel more about making the right one, seeing the right thing, and not just trusting on fantasies. That's what I see in the 7 of Cups here. So, there was my autumn equinox spread again, which I can return to next year and see. I'm finding this an interesting way of getting back and seeing if I'll understand more back then. But the rest of my Milan are autumn equinox. Autumn equinox, I'm just gonna go home, make something nice to eat for the family, spend some time with them, because I've done a lot of things already, starting last week and starting to prep for this. I've done my last plantings, because I've been planting hyssop since it was the full moon in Pisces and the moon was in Pisces, so that's a good time for, you know, planting seeds, hoping they'll grow inside. I have been collecting the last harvest of wormwood at the cottage. Everything that could be harvested is. On this morning, when I was on my run, I collected these beautiful autumn leaves and some other things during my walk that just, you know, catched my eye. And I'm putting them home to my little, as a special decoration for today. I will have a nice meal with the family. I'll put some nice incense on my altar on top of John, light some candles and enjoy. And I think after dinner I'm just gonna take one more moment for myself and work on something on my altar. I hope you guys are having a great fall equinox, or spring equinox on the other side of the world. It's getting chilly in here, and you guys are getting it warmer. So enjoy wherever you are. Until next time. Bye guys.